My dear friends, please, let's give some tzedakah on this day, special day, the second day of Rosh Chodesh, which is the first day of the new month of Adar Beis, the second Adar. We're entering the second half of the 60 days of rejoicing. So please Hashem, we were hoping for the first half to have the ultimate rejoicing, but please make it at least now. We should have the ultimate rejoicing. With the holiday of Purim should already be celebrating in the Beis HaMikdash, and then Pesach, which is connected to Purim, will be most wonderful in Jerusalem. Yesterday we explained the whole structure, the whole idea, the whole process of how and why we have a leap year. So while we're on the calendar discussion, let us look at a few other aspects of the Jewish calendar, the development of it, and so forth. It says in Parshas Boy, God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, "HaChodesh hazeh lochem Rosh Chodoshim." This month, which was the month of Nisan, should be for you the head of the months. That was actually the first mitzvah, to consecrate, to designate the month of Nisan as the first month of the monthly cycle. Now the sages deduce from the fact, the words HaChodesh hazeh lochem, to you, and in Torah everything is precise. In other words, that it is up to you, to the people, to the rabbinate, to dedicate, to sanctify the new month. And indeed, on every 30th day of the month, the Sanhedrin, the highest court, would set up shop. It would be open for business in an area in Jerusalem called Beis Yazek, where they would receive and question witnesses who would claim that they have seen the night before the new moon. It was a very thorough questioning, and the way they were able to question them is because they were all very well versed in astronomy. So according to their calculation, they knew when and if the new moon has already appeared. But since the Torah says lachem, you must do it, they had to go through the process. Once they were assured, once they were certain that the witnesses are valid witnesses, then the rabbis would get together and they would declare this month Mekudosh, sanctified. They would say it 3 times, Mekudosh, and they would celebrate a feast. But they have to notify all of Eretz Yisrael. Internet didn't function well, and the phone did not exist yet, obviously. So they had a very interesting system. They had dedicated mountaintops throughout the entire land of Israel, all the way into Babylonia, where on the 30th day of the month, there would people be watching to see if in the mountain by Jerusalem, if a torch was lit. And as soon as that torch was lit, the next mountain lit it. And in no time, the whole of Israel was lit with those torches, going as far as into Babylon, and they knew if the previous month had 29 days or 30 days, and now they knew when to make Pesach, which is supposed to be on the 15th day, and etc., all the other holidays. But then there became an issue. The Samaritans, who they rejected the authority of the Sanhedrin, and they started confusing the people by going on the mountain a day earlier. And this brought havoc. They couldn't rely on this system anymore. So they had to have a different system, simply by sending messengers. The Beis Din, Sanhedrin, had to send out reliable messengers to notify throughout the land of Israel all the way to Babylonia. Now, travel was slow, back of camels. So at certain places it could have taken even more than 2 weeks to notify when the new month was. So if it takes more than 2 weeks, they wouldn't know how to do Pesach. They wouldn't know how to do Sukkot. They wouldn't know when to celebrate the Yom Tovs. And therefore the rabbis decreed that in Eretz Yisrael, where they were able to arrive on time, would be 1 day Yom Tov. Out of Israel, where the messengers could not arrive on time, it would always be 2 days. Either, depending of the previous month, had 29 days or 30 days, they would do the holiday on those 2 days. Eventually, when Hillel Hazakin, in the 4th century, saw that eventually the Sanhedrin will be disbanded, he established a fixed calendar. And they continued celebrating 2 days, even in knowing exactly when the new month is. And if you ask why, if Chas v'Shalom tomorrow will still be in exile, we'll discuss that.